What's happening, guys? I'm Curtis, and you're watching Left Foot First. So last episode, I left you guys with, we didn't really know where these suspension links were gonna go. We had some issues where there wasn't enough clearance downwards to mount the rear axle and still allow for droop and everything. I think I've come up with a solution for that. So let's bring you guys down a little closer and we'll take a look. All right, so this is where we were last time. We want to mount this lower trailing arm horizontal, but with the axle set at ride height right now, there's nowhere to mount it and still keep it horizontal. We'd have to notch this frame rail or do something to bring this mount down. Now, I came up with a couple solutions last time about notching frame rails, redoing axle brackets, but I think I've come up with an even simpler solution. So, give me 1 second. By raising that axle up, we can get these things horizontal and not have to notch the frame rail. That's gonna affect our ride height, so let's go take a look at that on the other side with a tire on it. All right, here's where we're at. Previously, or at least last episode, we had our ride height set at 8 inches. 8 inches underneath the frame rail. That was kind of arbitrary. It was done that way so that when the suspension traveled and cycled up and down, the top of the tire didn't go above this rear bulkhead. Theory there being this rear bulkhead would be kind of our mounting plane for our rear fenders. But that gave us all the issues on mounting those lower control arms. So I've lowered our ride height. We're down to about 5 inches now. It makes the rear axle fit in here way easier. The suspension links will mount easier. Everything will just be simplified. So we're going to build everything at that 5-inch ride height. And then when it comes time to mount our fenders, we'll just have to mount them higher and come up with some different body lines in the back. Not a problem. So this is where we're gonna run the rear axle. Let's rip this tire off and get started on them chassis side mounts. All right, so we whipped up this little bracket here. It's just a piece of 3/4 inch flat bar with a 1/2 inch bolt in it. But what it's gonna allow us to do is I just got it clamped onto the chassis here, so we can move it up and down to get this bar level at whatever ride height we choose. And then we can leave that there and cycle our suspension up and down on these jacks and make sure that we don't have any clearance issues with these. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna find where I think the best ride height's gonna be for this lower bolt before we go ahead and build our permanent bracket there. So I'm gonna play with this for a bit, move this suspension up and down a couple times, take some notes, and then I'll get back to you guys. so here's where we sit. I found a mounting location that works pretty good. It gives us about a 6 1/4 inch ride height, which should be more than enough for this. Obviously we're down an inch at the front cross member and stuff, but still 5 1/4 is plenty of room there. It allows for about 3 1/4, 3 1/2 inches of droop on the back, which is more than enough. We got lots of up travel, so we don't really have to concern ourselves that much with the up travel. So we'll, yeah, so I'll measure up this mounting location, make sure that we got it somewhere that'll work, and then I'll cut a 1x1 tubing that'll run in here vertically, and then we can mount our top one as well, and then hopefully we'll have a full operating 4-link here pretty quick. So let's measure it up. All right, now let's build the steel plates that'll go in there, and then we'll drill the holes for the front ends. We got the holes drilled in her. I'm out of time for right now. I gotta go to Scott and Zoe's tonight, but this isn't the end of the episode. We'll pick it up tomorrow and we'll weld these in, and hopefully we can start cycling that suspension by the end of this episode. So I'll be back right away. And we're back. All right, guys, let's finish this up quick. We'll cut these plates apart, tack them into the chassis, and then hopefully everything goes good, and we'll hook up the 4 links and cycle that rear axle around. Let's go. issue with this trailing arm. It seems like the holes in the mount are a little bit crooked, so it keeps trying to like bend this arm. I don't like it because it's aluminum and eventually it'll snap. So I'm just gonna run this bolt a little bit looser right now, and then we're gonna have to come in here and probably drill out this mount. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's just drill out one side of this mount, one size bigger, and then that'll allow it to sit where it needs to. And then in the future, we'll just take and weld a washer on here. Let's do that right now. Obviously, we still need to put a panhard bar on it, but I'm pretty impressed with that. All right, guys, I gotta cut the episode there. We got the rear end mounted. It's obviously not done. We still need to do like shocks and a panhard bar and finish welding things. We might need to rebuild these plates, whatever. We know where it's gonna live now, and that opens up a world of possibilities for things that we can do. Now we know where the rear tires are gonna go. We can mock up the front end. We can start building control arms on the front end. We can build the rear chassis and mount the fuel tank. We can even jump inside and work on the tunnel. There's all kinds of things that we can do now. So this is a big step forward for me. Next week, I'm camping. I'll be up in northern Saskatchewan, so we're not gonna be working on the low cost. But I did shoot a little episode over at Justin's place, working on the Razor, just having a little fun, installing some stuff on that. So I think we'll air that next week. And then when I come back, we'll jump back onto this and do one of those 3 things that I just talked about. Yeah, so till then, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm out of here.